Hello and welcome back to class. Our focus today, green building opportunities. What's really possible in this sector? The first point I want to make is that green building is increasingly mainstream. That is not true in every country, certainly true here and increasingly in other parts of the world. I'm showing two iconic buildings here as examples of how green building is mainstream. On the left, this is the Bank of America One Bryant Park Tower in New York City. This project cost, I think it was $1.3 billion, and maybe 1 or 2% extra first cost for the green building elements. It was certified as a LEED Platinum green building, so this is the highest level of certification. At one point, I believe it was the greenest skyscraper out there. So again, 1 or 2%, that's not a large percentage, but certainly any percentage of a large number is also a large number. But the chairman of Bank of America at the time, Ken Lewis, has stated that he believes the payback for that extra first cost for the green building features was roughly 1 year or so. And the reason, yes, it's partly about energy savings and water savings and the like, but really it's about the ability to attract and retain the best talent in the building and to get the kind of business productivity that comes from that talent. On the right is the Empire State Building, a much older but certainly well-known structure, to say the least, also in New York City. Several years ago, they went through a major retrofit to upgrade their energy efficiency, after which the building was projected to use 38% less energy. It's my understanding they're actually beating that target and saving roughly $4 or $5 million per year. Green building is achieving scale. In this case, these are statistics from the LEED green building rating system, which happens to be not the only one out there for sure, but the most commonly used. Top left here, this is really a statistic representative of what's happening around the world, but on average, 1.5 million square feet of real estate are being certified to this green building standard per day. Now, clearly, it's a very lumpy process in actuality, but again, serious scale. 80,000 projects pursuing LEED certification across 162 different countries, and roughly 200,000 LEED accredited professionals. What started out as green building affecting less than 5% of green building, at least in the U.S., 10 years ago, today is influencing, call it half of non-residential new construction today. And how about green building impacts on the broader economy? Here, a study by Booz Allen looking at benefits to the U.S. economy in 2018, projecting $190 billion in labor earnings and roughly 3 million U.S. jobs focused on the green building sector. That is more than 1/3 of the entire U.S. construction sector. So again, not a niche. Green building is also diversifying. So the early versions of green building certification programs were designed for, let's say, suburban office buildings. Industry interest in third-party rating systems have now branched out to include other countries, other types of building and development more broadly. In one case, look at the this PEER standard, performance excellence and electricity renewal. So this measures and improves power system performance, which includes power generation, transmission, and distribution, focusing on efficiency, quality, reliability, resiliency, and lower impacts to the environment. The International Living Future Institute has created this Living Building Challenge, which targets or really recognizes net zero energy, net zero water, or even better, net positive energy, net positive water projects. I was part of the first cohort of ambassadors they had many years ago. But this is just a drop in the bucket, really. There are dozens of green building focused or green product focused certification programs out there. Green building is also becoming more stringent and more innovative. One goal here is that less bad really is not good enough. It's not enough for some building owners and developers and designers. New programs provide guidance on net zero water, net positive energy, a red list, really, which we discussed in another video. These red lists with compounds, chemicals, metals, etc., that are known to have negative human health or environmental impacts. And the idea is that if certain labels, like the Living Building Challenge, are applied to a project, then that building does not have any red list chemicals in it or in the products in it as well. Often a high bar to meet. Stepping aside from the purely environmental focus, there are also examples like JUST here that I've shown, which focus on social justice inside of organizations that operate inside of potentially green buildings or really non-green buildings. Ideally, it's focused on those in green buildings, to say that green is not enough. It also must focus on topics such as diversity, worker benefits, equity, and safety. One takeaway here really is that you can find your niche within this growing sector of green building that really matters to you, where you have differentiation, where you have a product or service that is perfect just for you. And perhaps one area to look for opportunities for you is to look at these last couple of slides and think, where is green building going, right? Not where has it been, not where is it dominant and well established, but where is it going? How could you be an expert in one of these emerging trends within green building? Some key conclusions. First, again, green building is no longer a tiny niche reserved for environmentalists. The biggest names in real estate, more broadly really, are focused on making green building part of their brand. Second, green building is not just about the buildings, although certainly that is in the name, green building. However, you can find your passion if you focus just on materials or public health, city planning, responsible site design, or social equity. All of those have a relationship to green building and development. Finally, the sector is growing because of financial reasons, not because of policy or environmental goals. So as you make your business case for your startup's product, service, project, etc., focusing on the financial reasons, secondarily on the human health and productivity benefits, and then finally on environmental goals, probably is the sequence of the pitch to make to have your audience most easily, let's say, accept your opportunity. Finally, questions for you. So again, stop the video after I've read through these. Get your pen and paper and take some time to digest what's in this video. The first, which green building and development programs are being used in your country, and how can you become an expert in them? The second, do you want to focus on mainstream or cutting-edge green building? So is your goal to focus on, say, buildings that use 30% less energy, or to focus on buildings that produce more energy on site than they actually consume? Again, know your market, find your niche. You cannot do everything and still have a successful startup or new corporate product or initiative. Finally, how can you learn from green building successes in other countries and then become a leader in that sector in your own country? So, hypothetically, if you wanted to watch the growth trajectory lessons learned around, let's say, the LEED for Neighborhood Development certification program, because you see in your country a lot of new master planned neighborhood type programs that need some guidance to be more environmentally friendly, to improve public health, etc., then maybe you would look at what's happened in the U.S. with the LEED for Neighborhood Development program in order to become a leader and see/create the future for similar development in your country. With that, we will see you in the next video.